So I talked about this last week. I mentioned that USC is nowhere near the best team in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is very loaded this year. So it's not exactly a harsh reality for USC to be told they're not a top two team in the Pac-12. But at this point, I don't think USC is a top 3 team. I think Utah's better. I think Washington is miles better than USC. Oregon, miles better than USC. And Oregon State is a sneaky good team as well. But I digress a little bit from USC. We saw it a little bit exposed with USC going up against Notre Dame. And some really not so timely things came out for Caleb Williams that I did not love. Now listen, for those that know, I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan. I was one of those people that, you know what, I don't tend to watch games or root for teams like I used to as a fan, but there'll always be that fandom there where I am rooting for that team, where I am a Cardinals fan through and through. But at the start of the Cardinals season, I was like, you know what? I love Kyler Murray. I think Kyler is awesome. But if you can restart the clock, go get Caleb Williams. I was all in on the tank. And I think I might have been a little bit brainwashed by that. Now, listen here when I say this. Caleb Williams is a little overrated. A little overrated. You know, people will look at me and say, oh, this guy's a hater. This guy will say anything for clicks. No. Overrated just means to the whole population, the way that they rate him is higher than what I would rate him. Caleb Williams, if he stepped into the NFL right now, I probably couldn't find 10 quarterbacks better than Caleb Williams. I probably just couldn't. Caleb Williams is a transcendent talent. I probably couldn't find 8 quarterbacks better than Caleb Williams. But I could find 6, 7, 5 quarterbacks better than Caleb Williams right now in the NFL. And I don't think that's crazy. So when I see a story that comes up and says, yeah, Caleb Williams, he's going to ask for partial ownership of the team that drafts him, or a stake in ownership, whatever that looks like. He wants to be part of the team. He wants to have some stake in the team. So when I see Caleb Williams ask for a partial of the team or stake in the team or a minority owner, whatever it looks like to get a piece of the team that Caleb Williams wants, I think that's crazy. I think low sports self-esteem teams do that. Chicago Bears do that. The New York Jets do that. The Arizona Cardinals do that. Organizations that have been largely living in dysfunction for a long time do that. You should never do this. Now, let me just preface this before I go too far on a tangent here. This is not possible. Caleb Williams will not get stake in a team. He will not get ownership in a team. He won't get any of that. The NFL does not want that. That's a stupid look to give an 18 or 19-year-old that much power. No 18, no 19-year-old should have that much power that early on in their career. I can say with full transparency, Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the draft. And I don't think it's particularly close, although I do like Michael Penix a lot more week by week. He's no Caleb Williams. But for a quarterback that hasn't played a snap in the NFL to ask for minority ownership, a stake in the team, whatever it looks like, is absolutely insane. We saw this with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, when he got traded to the Jets, also wanted part ownership of the team, part of a stake in the team. And the NFL stepped in and basically said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's way too much power for a player to have. And it's one thing for Aaron Rodgers to ask for it. I think it's crazy. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a 2-time, 3-time MVP off the top of my head. Can't really remember. Again, not really the topic of conversation. Aaron Rodgers can ask for that, but he should be told no too. But Caleb Williams, without playing a single snap in the NFL, that rubs me the wrong way. And that, if that's true, I could totally say Caleb Williams as well, look around at a team and say, don't draft me, which again, I think is a red flag. It is a red flag for Caleb Williams to say, if you draft me, I want stake and ownership in that team. It is also a red flag if Caleb Williams says, I don't want to be drafted by you. Dude, who are you to pick where you go? This is the deal that you signed up for with the NFL. Now, this is not Caleb Williams slander. He's awesome. But everyone kind of needs to get put in their place in life. And Caleb Williams is overstepping his boundary here, asking for own, whether it's true or not. Whether we all know it's not going to happen. It's too much. It's a red flag. For a guy that didn't play well against U of A team that's somewhere between above average and a good college football team, he had like 4 passes completed at the half. Caleb Williams, make no mistake, was not great in that game. And then the following week, follows it up with a Notre Dame USC game. Got 3 picks. Focus on the subject at hand, Caleb Williams. Focus on being a guy to lead your team and not get distracted with the other things that are far away in the future in the NFL draft, in telling teams you might not want to go there, or telling teams you want a minority stake or ownership of that team. It's crazy. I think if you think differently, it's insane. It's foolish for Caleb Williams to be acting like this. And to just touch on USC just a tad. USC quickly falling down the ranks. And it just seems like too much flash. I don't mean it in like a old head type of way, but in my eyes, USC, they don't really do any smash mouth football thing. It's very, for lack of a better word, pretty boy football. It's really just, we're going to throw the ball deep. Caleb Williams is going to save us. He's going to put us on our back. We don't have a great offensive line. Our defensive line is fine. The defensive secondary is not good. The tackling is not good. It's really just a lot of Caleb Williams. If Lincoln Riley doesn't start getting this figured out, I'm not saying he's going to lose his job. They have invested way too much in Lincoln Riley to be gone so soon. But USC looks to be in more trouble than I thought. There's a lot of transfers there. A lot of transfers. Same with Colorado. You see the same problem over there. I didn't expect USC to be as slow of a cook as I expected Colorado, but I expected more from USC this year, and I expect more from Caleb Williams asking ownership or teams for stakes in teams when he's not playing particularly well. Caleb Williams, going back over to him, is a little overvalued. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by Caleb Williams is a little overhyped? Caleb Williams is a little overrated. What do I mean by that? Well, when I see Nick Wright on FS1 putting him on the top of his quarterback rankings, that's insane. Caleb Williams, right now, there's no argument to be made. He hasn't played a snap in the NFL. He's not better than Joe Burrow. He's not better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Jalen Hurts. He's not better than Lamar Jackson. He's not better than Patrick Mahomes. It's pretty hard for you to argue that he's better than all those top quarterbacks in the NFL. So to ask for a stake in the team when he hasn't been playing well the past few weeks, to say things like leak things out that goes, you know what, maybe I don't want to play with your team. Maybe I'll just stay another year in college. It's a red flag to me, but what do I know? What do I know? It seems like a red flag to me. Don't love that attitude. If we're going to hold the attitude standard to quarterbacks and we're going to grade quarterbacks like Kyler Murray so harshly because of their attitude, or Aaron Rodgers because of their attitude, you see a guy like Caleb Williams asking for ownership, a stake, a slice of the pie in a team when he has not been playing his best football over the past couple of weeks. He seems really unfocused. I don't love it for USC. I don't love it for Caleb Williams. And right now, yes, let me just rephrase or preface myself or repeat myself. Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the draft. It's probably not very close. But to act like you've been there before when you haven't played a snap in the NFL, not only in my opinion does that put a target on your back as the guy that thinks he's better than everyone else, but I can name 5, 6 quarterbacks already better than you in the NFL, which is not crazy. So with that being said, Caleb Williams, he's acting a little crazy right now. I don't love it, and I think it's a little bit of a red flag.